Good afternoon, and thanks for tuning in to First at 4. I'm Don Jorgensen.
And I'm Kelly Volk. Rapid City police are searching for the suspect connected to a shooting that sent a 6-year-old boy to the hospital. Officers released this picture of the suspect as he was running away from the scene. Authorities were called at about 9 this morning for reports of a shooting in the 100 block of East Signal Drive, which is near the South Dakota School of Mines.
The police say that the 6-year-old has serious injuries but is expected to survive. There is a large police presence in the neighborhood as officers search for the suspect. If you have any information about the shooting, you are asked to call Rapid City Police.
We have an update on the condition of the 2 boys hurt in the house explosion near Fort Pierre. On their Caring Bridge page, Kelsey Hupp says her sons are in stable condition at a burn center in St. Paul. Doctors say 3-year-old Royce's burns are on 36% of his body. However, doctors are optimistic that he could heal on his own without grafts. Hupp says 5-year-old Miles's burns are all superficial. She says doctors will slowly wean down his sedation and do some trial breathing off the ventilator. The house explosion on Wednesday killed 6-month-old Harper, as well as the kids' grandparents, LaDonna and William Hupp. The cause of the explosion is still under investigation. So far, a GoFundMe for the family has raised more than $400,000. There is also a fund set up at First Dakota National Bank.
Governor Kristi Noem has launched a new hotline for people to voice concerns about South Dakota's universities. She claims that many states have, quote, allowed liberal ideologies to poison their universities and colleges. Noem sent a 4-page letter to the Board of Regents charging the agency with the responsibility to revitalize the institutions under its control and leading the nation by example. KELOLAND News called the hotline number this morning, and we were told that the mailbox is already full. And when we tried yesterday afternoon, we heard this recorded message.
Thank you for calling the South Dakota Board of Regents Whistleblower Hotline. This hotline was created for students and faculty to keep our universities accountable to South Dakota values and be an example to the nation of what good higher education looks like. Please leave your name, university, and phone number before your message in case follow-up is needed. Thank you for speaking up and keeping our universities accountable.
And Noem is also challenging the South Dakota Board of Regents to make several actions, including removing references to preferred pronouns in all school materials, prohibiting drag shows on campuses, and immediately reviewing all funding sources of university centers and donations to ensure that there is no money from China. We have a team of reporters looking into this hotline, as well as getting reaction from state lawmakers about this letter to the Board of Regents. You can find the stories on air and online on KELOLAND.com.
Well, we've got some nice weather as we head into the weekend.
It's a little breezy, but who's complaining, right?
I'm not.
I'm not complaining either. Looking forward to this weekend.
Well, we'll have plenty of sunshine, and we'll keep that wind around as we head through the holiday weekend. Right now, 83 degrees in Sioux Falls with all that sunshine. South winds are at 15 miles an hour. But as we head across the region, in Pierre, getting a few more clouds this afternoon, 78 degrees. South winds at 26 miles an hour. Eastern KELOLAND is about 10 degrees above normal right now. 83 in Yankton, 87 in Sisseton, 75 degrees in Rapid City. If we take a look at satellite, we do have thicker clouds moving through central and western South Dakota. And if we take a look under those clouds, we have a few rain and thunderstorm chances popping up. By Pierre, some rain showers moving north of Blunt and Highmore this afternoon. And by the Spearfish, Lee, Deadwood, Whitewood area, a few thunderstorms are popping up, producing a little bit of lightning. There is a severe thunderstorm watch for this evening. You can see down in the bottom left corner around the Chadron into Wyoming areas. We could be adding western South Dakota to that watch for this afternoon and evening. Otherwise tonight, 55 Sioux Falls, 62 in Aberdeen, 64 in Pierre, and 58 in Rapid City with that chance of thunderstorms. Everybody keeps that strong south wind as we head into tomorrow. 84 Sioux Falls, 86 in Aberdeen, 85 in Pierre, and 79 in Rapid City with another chance to see rain and thunderstorms. We'll take a closer look in just a little bit.
Thanks, Megan. Iowa teachers will be banned from talking about gender identity or sexual orientation with children through 6th grade under a bill signed into law by Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds. It also mandates the removal of all books depicting sex acts from school libraries. Republicans frame the new law as a common sense effort to ensure that parents can oversee what their children are learning in school. Democrats and LGBTQ groups argued that the restrictions will hurt children by limiting their ability to be open with teachers.
A judge in Montana says that the U.S. government can keep using chemical retardants to fight wildfires, despite finding that the practice pollutes streams in violation of a federal law. Environmentalists sued the U.S. Forest Service for dropping the red material into the waterways hundreds of times over the past decade. Government officials say that the chemical fire retardant is sometimes crucial to slowing the advance of dangerous wildfires. The lawsuit accused the Forest Service of disregarding the Clean Water Act by continuing to use retardant without taking adequate precautions to protect streams and rivers. Experts say that climate change, people moving into fire-prone areas, and overgrown forests are creating more catastrophic fires that are harder to fight.
In Washington, lawmakers are racing toward an agreement to raise the debt ceiling as the country is approaching a potential default that could have negative impacts on the economy.
KELOLAND News Washington, D.C. correspondent Alexandra Limon has the latest on the high-stakes talks.
We got to make more progress.
While negotiators say talks over the debt ceiling are progressing, publicly, neither side seems to be backing down.
We cannot be raising people's taxes. We cannot be increasing the size of government. We've got to start living within our means.
Republicans continue to demand budget cuts in exchange for raising the debt ceiling.
I do not think it's right that you borrow money from China to pay people to stay home that are able-bodied with no dependents on the couch.
I'm afraid that Speaker McCarthy now is playing political poker with somebody else's money. People are watching as our 401ks are going downhill.
Leaders on Capitol Hill and Bharat Ramamurthy with the National Economic Council say Democrats won't accept devastating cuts.
To children, devastating cuts to Medicaid, devastating cuts to nutrition.
Whatever the deal is, it's not going to approach the level of severe cuts that the Republicans proposed.
Most lawmakers already left Washington for the holiday weekend.
Republicans are driving us down a dangerous road of default.
But those involved with negotiations say both sides are determined to beat the June 1st deadline.
It does take a deadline sometimes to drive that compromise.
That was Alexandra Limon reporting, and just coming into our newsroom, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has extended the projected date for federal default to June 5th. However, she also said inaction would cause severe hardship.